Hey everybody, I want to quickly address today the attacks that happened, the Islamic attacks that happened in Sri Lanka. And those attacks were 8 different coordinated bombings. So 3 were at hotels, 3 were at churches during Easter celebration, Easter Mass, and unfortunately 2 more. So one was right across from a zoo and another one, I believe the last one was in a smaller church. So initially the reports came out and of course the media just did the normal thing of reporting it as an attack. However, I think even they knew it was going to be terrorist attack, that it was done in the name of Islam, because as soon as that fact came out, nobody's been updating their articles. So if you try to find one where they actually call out specifically that it was Islam, it's very hard to find. I've been looking for the last 3 hours and waiting to see if anybody was going to update their articles. Nobody has done so. However, we know that if this had been done by some white supremacists, I mean, there's not very many white people in Sri Lanka. However, if it had been some kind of a white supremacist, you can bet that the media would have gone and updated all of that. So, okay, what I find alarming about the attacks in Sri Lanka is it was predictable that it was going to happen. I didn't expect it to be at that scale. But Islam has declared war since inception. So since Islam started, it has declared war on every other religion. So Islam is not a religion, it is a totalitarian system that includes everything from politics to how you talk, how you greet each other, how you live your life, how you eat, how you go to the washroom, and how you pray, and everything, how you interact with the world. Everything is very clearly established and you must follow it. There's no questioning it. You follow what you are told under Islam. So it's the world's greatest totalitarian system. And what I find alarming about the attacks in Sri Lanka is that their Muslim population there is relatively small. So Sri Lanka is a Buddhist state, and there's a small Hindu population, there's a small Christian population, and there's a small Muslim population. And the Muslims in Sri Lanka are still under 10% total population. And normally you see these kinds of attacks when your Muslim population in a country is roughly between 20 and 40%. So, given that it came from within Sri Lanka, done by Sri Lanka Muslims, I find it very alarming that when there's such a small percentage of the population, they are now escalating to such a degree that they're carrying out attacks as if they were 40% of the population. So to me, I see this as an escalation in the Islamic world of trying to take over, intimidate, and dominate the way that Muslims are commanded to do by Muhammad and Allah. That's one of the things I find alarming. The press reported it normally, the way they would normally, we all expect it now. I mean, the mainstream media, we expect them to ill report on these and over report and exaggerate anytime it's done, and anything is done by a white male. Like a white male could like accidentally drop a banana peel in the street, and the mainstream media would claim that that's white privilege in action, where white people actually think that other people are there to pick up their garbage. Like you could see how the media would totally spin something like that. And because this attack was done by Muslims, the media is downplaying it. So they are not updating their articles. They will not make revisions to this. If they need to, they're going to come out with some kind of article of some Muslim doing something great somewhere. In Canada, they tend to do things like say, oh, look at, this is right around the time, or maybe tomorrow, a story will come out where they're going to say something like, oh, look at this Syrian refugee we brought in. He opened up a barbershop in Edmonton, and he is fighting Islamophobia and fighting racism in his own way. Like this, and they're going to tell us about how wonderful the Syrian is and how they are raising money for fighting racism and all that stuff. So this is, I predict that this kind of article will start popping up, and this is designed to control you, designed to make sure that you don't associate Islam with the Islamic terrorist attack that just happened. And also they're probably gonna bring in further measures to make sure that we don't talk about it. So if you notice, the media is already controlled to a point where they won't mention it. I mean, the media is smart. For the most part, I think they're smart, but they're controlled, and their job is to control you. So I don't think the people who are reporting on this are stupid and don't realize what's happening. They obviously know it's Islamic terror, but they are under direct orders, especially in Canada, but in many other places of the world, they're under direct order to minimize any Islamic crime of any sort, whether it's jihad, whether it's rape, whether it's anything that Muslims are doing in the name of Islam that is detrimental to the world or detrimental to Christians. They will minimize it. These are the marching orders that our Western media has received from the governments, from the globalist governments that are trying to emerge now. They're working very hard to try to become globalists, and this is what our media in Canada is doing. So they will hide that this has been an Islamic terror attack. This is why small YouTubers like me have to come on here and make these videos to keep reminding you. This attack in Sri Lanka was done in the name of Islam. It was done with the goal of bringing terror to the hearts of the unbelievers of Islam and the enemies of Islam. And they they attacked the churches because it was Easter, so it was a very symbolic way to attack Christians. They're attacking Christians all the time. If you look beyond just the area you live in, and you look at world politics, look at how many churches in the world are being attacked all over the world, and it's a weekly occurrence. Every week a church is attacked somewhere in the world in the name of Islam. They are trying to make you fearful to be a Christian. They're trying to bully you. And these are the marching orders that Muslims have received from Muhammad and from their God Allah to do this. So they will strike fear in the hearts of unbelievers. They will keep doing this. And this is in an attempt to intimidate the local populations wherever they are, and try to make you afraid to question or fight against Islam. Now, Sri Lanka, the Muslim population is still under 10%, but they are behaving like they're 40% of the population. Very alarming. So this is why it's critically important for us to realize Islam, since its inception, was an enemy of Christianity and will forever attack Christians all the time. Islam is a sworn enemy of Christianity. And another thing I wanted to point out is we see a lot of Christians, atheists, and all these leftists who, once the mosque attack happened, they were quick to go in and surround mosques to protect them and make sure that we sent a message to our peaceful, Muslim that live in our societies that we're here to protect them and that we're their friends. But this is one question for you guys. Has anybody ever seen a Muslim like a bunch of Muslims go in front of a church and defend the Catholics who are walking into church for prayer? Has anybody ever seen Muslims massively remove their hijab in the West in solidarity with us? Has anybody seen any Muslims start wearing a cross for a day? Has anybody seen any Muslim push for any kind of peace movement towards Catholics after a Catholic attack? I haven't seen any. It doesn't mean, I don't read everything. So if you've seen any movement where the Muslims have done the equivalent, return the favor kind of idea towards Christians and Jews, please let me know. Let me know. Maybe I'll make another video about that. So anyways, guys, that's it for me. I will see everybody in the next